Hi, welcome to Derek Does. Today, we're doing this again. Hi, welcome back to Derek Does. Thanks for joining me. If you're new to here, please subscribe. I appreciate that because I've always got new content that I'm trying to put out there that's kind of interesting, at least to me, and maybe to you too. But today I'm going to do a follow-up on my 1987 Honda Accord LXI. Now this is the hatchback version. They made a couple different versions of this. If you watch my first video, you can see I picked this car up last year in December at an estate sale of all places. Kind of bought it sight unseen. That's all pictures of it. I didn't test drive it. I didn't do anything like that, but it was a great price. And I bought it just, maybe nostalgia a little bit, but I bought it because I just kind of love this body style. And this is kind of the generation that I grew up with. I would have been a teen when this was out and would have loved to have had this car, but of course I didn't. But I have it now. So I picked up the car in December and it had been sitting basically in a guy's garage or on his patio driveway for a while. He bought it new. So I'm the second owner of this car. He bought it new in 1987. It has 85,000 miles on it. It is basically a time machine when it comes to how it looks. The body was fantastic, no rust. Engine was great. The only thing I've done to it since purchasing it is I've done some mechanical and I've done some cosmetics. Now I did some previous videos trying to fix this front bumper. Not to fix it, but just to color it because it had been so faded from this Colorado sun. This is a Colorado car from day one, bought in this town, and it still lives in this town. But I'll take you around, I'll show you the car, I'll show you what I've done to it, and kind of show you just what an awesome, awesome car these 80 Hondas are. Now you could get an Accord, you could get a Civic, you could get a Prelude, you could get a CRX. You can't go wrong with any of them, particularly probably from like 86 to 89 in that range. And this generation, and then the 90s was a different generation completely. This is what's called a third generation Accord. But let me show you around of all the stuff I've done to it. So here she is. You can just see, I just love this wedge look to it. Everything's angular. There's no real smooth, bulbous things like today's cars. This is the hatchback version. One thing I did was I did get a custom plate for it. I just love it. 87 Honda. But you can see this is the LXI model and the Accord. This is a hatchback. And you can just see the condition of this car is just incredibly complete. I have the original wheels. I like to, and I'll talk about wheels coming up, but just to give you an idea, the nice, cool thing about this car is the Accord came with the pop-up headlights. Now, I believe the Japanese, these were made in Ohio in the United States, but when they imported them back to Japan, they did not have the headlights that popped up, I believe. I believe they just had a smooth, regular headlight that fit into there. You can see that, like, even has the body stripe with LXI. I mean, just little things like that. Now, if you remember the previous video, you can kind of see the shape as I got it. It came with a pair of snow tires on these American racing wheels, and I swapped them out for the wheels that came with it. These are the Steelies with the hubcaps. The tires are in great shape, but unfortunately, they're like 12, 13 years old, and you can kind of feel it when you drive. It's got a little bit of a shimmy in the front, and I know the tires are just bad on it. But we'll go into the inside in a minute. So the things I've done since getting the car is I've re-brought back the black along here. The front took 3 attempts. I tried 2 different processes that they said were great. And finally, I just got the Eastwood trim paint, and it did a fantastic job. And look at that, it looks like almost new. Really came out fantastic. Now the other stuff that Solutions Plus, it worked fine on here, this sort of plastic, but it does not work on the plastic, whatever they used in the front. I haven't done the mud flaps yet, but I will get those blackened. But I did all that. And then I also did that same solution on the back. I might paint this though later with the Eastwood trim paint. And I'll put links down below of all the stuff that actually works. Now, one thing I just did is, if you notice, and you can kind of tell from a distance, it's great. From up close, you can kind of tell the black rubber that was here had deteriorated. So I did the Plasta Dip spraying on that. Turned out great. And up here also. This I did not do. It's got a little bit here. Might just do trim paint. I might just leave it as is. I also did that plastic dip along here, at the top. This was all chrome because the material had just worn away. And then I also painted all the wiper blades. And I also did the, down here, the top was okay on the rubber. But down here it was beat up. This was all fine. And then I painted both of the windshield wiper blades, and it just made a huge difference. I think the car looks fantastic. Now I'll show you the features on the inside of the car. So I was able to clean out the entire interior, and you can just see how great this interior is. It does have the red velour, as you can see, both sides. And this was like one of the first, if you notice, there's a little safety belt. This was the first, I believe, year that they had push button seat belts instead of the button, which would be in the middle. Again, doesn't have airbags, so it has a smaller, thinner steering wheel. And then, as you can see, it still has 85,000 and has your tack, temp, and gas, and then just gauges at the top for everything. They had replaced the radio with the CD player, so I actually went out and actually bought some CDs because I did not have any CDs anymore because I got rid of them all. If I was going to drive this every day or something, I would probably swap this out for one of those radios that have the the screen on them, so you can do Apple CarPlay and all that sort of stuff. So I eventually would do that if I did that. It's pretty simple, but nice. Everything's, it's all push button. And then these just slide, for whatever you need. This is for your defrost, your hazard, or your dim lights. And this, when I push it, here, I'll get up here so you can see if you can. You got the pop-up headlights. I'll do a close-up on those two, and you can kind of see. You got the horns here, got cruise control. You have fuses, easy to get to here. Hood release, clutch. Again, this is a 5-speed. Emergency brake, and has the timer that works. And I'll show you all that when it's all lit up. And then in the back, you just pop up here. And inside, you've got same velour, really nice. I don't think it's ever was satin in the back. And it's a nice feature where you can pull these down and have a full access if you need to haul anything, which is quite handy. You have a little partial shelf down here. I don't know, I think that might be for a kid thing. But it has the also the seatbelt stuff there. Now for the back, you either have to use the key or you have to use the trunk release. There is no button, it just lifts. So you either use the key here, and inside you've got a nice shelf area here. Plus you have lots of room for luggage, hauling stuff. You can see it's just super, super nice. Now I had a CRX back in the day, 2 of them actually, and I had Accords too, but never had the hatchback Accord. So this kind of reminds me of my CRX a little bit. It's just a bigger CRX, and they're really not that big at all. But let me show you on the inside, the engine. Down here. So here's the motor. I will eventually, I think, repaint this just so this gets that nice crinkle black again. Now the things I did when I got the car, I took it into my local shop and they replaced the cam gasket, obviously the head gasket. I had the timing belt done, even though that takes it's about this range, like 90 that you would do it. But the car had been sitting for so long, I decided to do that. So I had that replaced. And then I also had the transmission oil for the manual. I had that replaced because that's original oil that was in there. Obviously a oil change and all that. And it just runs, and the shop just couldn't get over just how amazingly clean this car was. And they even said it was like a time machine. So, but you can see here this bumper really turned out fantastic. It looks new. But that is what, this is a 2.0. It's a bulletproof engine, and it has the reason it's called the LXI is because the I stands for the electronic fuel ignition, because otherwise it would be a carb would be on this car, and that'd be like the DX or the LX. But the LXI had the electronic fuel injection. Now, I thought I'd show you what it looks like when you turn the key on. You can just see the various lights. You got your doors. The brakes are obviously on. The radio works. It's just letting me know the battery is checked and the oil. Again, it's not started and the seatbelt's not on, but you can see. Now, when it's an automatic version, if you've got the automatic version, right here, it would have the D, R, 1, 2, and 3 little gauge that would tell you what gears you're in. But since this is not, this doesn't have it. So right now I've got on fresh, high-low. I can just put on vent. It's really, I really like this car. It's really roomy. Up here it's for your seat belts. There is a little vanity here on that side. Nothing on this because this is before that existed. But it's really, I love it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode on kind of like a follow-up, at least where I am so far on my 1987 Honda Accord LXI Hatchback. If you get a chance to find something like this, or even like an old Toyota Celica or Supra, or any of the 80s cars like this, get one. They're really fun. They're easy to work on. You can still get parts for the most part. Some things are a little more difficult to get. Obviously, body panels would be more hard to get because cars like this you just can't find at the junkyard anymore. They're gone. But you can still find them on eBay and that sort of thing. But hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for subscribing, and I will keep you updated on the latest that I do with this vehicle. And I'm not gonna mod it out. Now the thing, I'll talk about the wheels. I want to get, and then maybe you guys can help me. I'm looking for something, a different wheel, something that's maybe 80s, clunky a little bit, something that would work for this sort of vehicle that would look period, but still look really cool. So I've been kind of looking around for different wheels and that sort of packages because I do want to get new tires, but I don't want to buy tires yet for this. I'd rather get it for when it gets a little more updated. So hope you enjoyed it, and I will, if you have any suggestions, send them to me, and I'll see you on the next Derek Does. Thanks.